The Senate Committee on Government Affairs will come to order. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Daley?
Here.
Senator Ellison? Senator Krasner? Senator Neal? Senator Orenshaw?
Here.
Senator Rogich? Chair Flores.
Present. Please let the record reflect all members are present. We have a quorum. Good afternoon. I hope everybody had a great weekend, and welcome to the very hard working Committee on Government Affairs. It's always great to see our amazing colleagues from the Assembly joining us. In the interest of just trying to be as fair as possible to our colleagues from the Assembly, I'm just going to go ahead and take the bills in the order they appear, starting with Assembly Bill 8. As a reminder, a lot of us are simultaneously presenting bills in other committees, so we'll be walking in and out. Please don't take that as a sign of disrespect. And then I just want to remind everybody, please state your name for the record. We're going to limit testimony to 2 minutes in support, opposition for, or neutral for whoever is calling. Please, reminder to all folk who intend to call in support, opposition, or neutral of any one of the bills that we're hearing today. If somebody's already brought up an issue that you believe in, you can always say, I agree with that. Get your name on the record, the organization you may represent, and feel free to move forward. That will allow everybody to participate, particularly those of you who intend to join us over the phone. With that, we'll go ahead and open up the hearing on Assembly Bill 8. Good afternoon, and welcome.
Last minute change.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate that. And I'm beginning to wonder if there's anybody even left in the Assembly this afternoon. Good afternoon, Chair and members of the Senate Committee. For the record, I'm Assemblyman Ken Gray, that's K-E-N-G-R-A-Y, proudly representing Assembly District 39, which includes the Lake Tahoe area of Douglas County. I'm accompanied today by Jonathan Brungy of the, well, he's the Deputy Administrator of, and I don't have my glasses on, so I'm gonna get those on because I'm getting old, of the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. And sorry, I had to read that because I wanted to make sure I got it right. Thank you for the opportunity to present Assembly Bill 8 today on behalf of the Legislative Committee for the Review and Oversight of the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency and the Marlette Lake Water System. Under existing law, all public money received by any state officer, department, or commission must be deposited by the following Thursday. However, if at any time the amount collected reaches $10,000 or more, it must be deposited no later than the next working day. There's an exception to this that currently exists for the Department of Wildlife, which is allowed up to 10 working days to deposit $10,000 or more. Assembly Bill 8 seeks to extend the same exemption to the Division of State Parks within the State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. Under this bill, if the division accumulates $10,000 or more in a single day, it would have up to 10 working days to make the deposit, rather than being required to do so the next working day. So at this point, I'd like to draw your attention to specifically to Section 1, Subsection 4 of the bill. The law would now read, if the Department of Wildlife or the Division of State Parks of the State Department of If the Department of Wildlife or the Division of State Parks of the State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources accumulates for deposit $10,000 or more on any day, the money must be deposited within 10 working days. This change will help relieve manpower strain, especially in the summer months, providing much-needed flexibility to staff and management. Additionally, it enhances security by making deposit schedules much less predictable. Thank you for your time and consideration, and we will now answer any questions you may have. And I can hopefully do that without stumbling over my words.
All right, thank you. Members, any questions? Yeah. Senator Ellison, please.
I'm giving him a bad time today. He's been rough for me. But I do have a question. It says that after 10 days, it's got to be deposited within 10 days. Usually most banks will transfer that 2 to 3 days, mostly if it's a state or federal check. Is that not correct?
I'm sorry, Senator Ellison. Ken Gray for the record. I'm going to give you a hard time. I don't know what you're asking.
Well, you've got here on it says the Division of State Parks and and State Department of Corrections and Natural Resources assume for deposit $10,000 or more that any day the money must be deposited within 10 working days.
Correct.
That's a little long system for deposit, don't you think?
It's matching it up with the other portion, the Department of Wildlife. In the summer months when they're at their busiest, it's hard for manpower to be cut loose to go make that deposit. So it's also going to make it much less predictable. I actually see this as a safety measure as well. So if you've got that money, which it's easy, very easy for, say, Sand Harbor to collect that much money in a day, you know they're going to make that deposit either that evening or the next morning, first thing in the morning to meet the current
correct, yeah.
deadline. So that'd make it real easy for a hit and run robbery. So by actually adding this much more time, you've got 10 days now, and you can make that deposit at any point in that period.
Well, and that makes sense. When you were reading it fast, trying to keep up with you. So thank you. I just want to make sure that's right for the record.
Senator Daly, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just by way of explanation, Assemblyman Gray, good to see you. So this came out of the TRPA Oversight Committee, and we were requested by the division to put this in because they were finding themselves in non-compliance because they couldn't actually meet the next day over the weekends, especially in the summertime at Sand Harbor. It's not the only location in the state. You can probably talk to others. So when we put it in, we said this is what we wanted to do, and LCB came up with the language to match what Division of Wildlife has, right? So we didn't go looking for a new rule and say you can do it in 3. We just say we'll match what the other exemption is in 10 days. They are doing it quicker as soon as they can. If they're under the 10,000, as soon as they hit that, they make it if it's during the week. But if it happens to be on the weekends, which regularly occurs in the summer at Sand Harbor and other state parks, they can't comply.
When in doubt, phone a friend, Senator Daly. He'll bail you out. Members, any additional questions? Thank you again. I think we understand the intent and we appreciate you filling in last second. With that, I'd like to invite you to sit back, and I'll invite those wishing to testify in support of Assembly Bill 8 to please come forward. Mr. Ramirez, were you here in support of Assembly Bill 8? No? Understood. BPS, can we go to the phone lines, those wishing to testify in support of Assembly Bill 8, please?
If you would like to testify in support of AB 8, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, you have no callers wishing to testify in support at this time.
Thank you. Invite those wishing to testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 8. If you could please come forward to Carson City or Las Vegas. Seeing none, BPS will go back to the phone lines. Opposition to Assembly Bill 8.
If you would like to testify in opposition of AB 8, please press star 9 now. Chair, you have no callers wishing to testify in opposition at this time.
And lastly, we'll invite those wishing to testify in the neutral position for Assembly Bill 8, Carson City or Las Vegas. Seeing none, BPS, anybody wishing to join us for neutral testimony in Assembly Bill 8?
If you would like to testify neutral on AB 8, please press star 9 now. Chair, you have no callers wishing to testify neutral at this time.
Thank you. Any closing remarks? Thank you. And with that, we'll go ahead and close out the hearing on Assembly Bill 8. And next, we'll invite Assemblymember Mosca to join us for Assembly Bill 83. Good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you so much, Chair. Great to see you, and great to see you all here. My name is Erica Massa, Assembly District 14 for the record, and I thank you for hearing this bill. I'm proud to be the first Filipina to ever represent in the Nevada State Legislature, and this bill comes directly from Democratic and Republican Filipinos in Nevada. So this was a bipartisan effort during the interim session. Our AANHPI community is the fastest growing community in the state, and the Filipino community is the largest community. Whether it's your J1 visa teachers in Mineral County to the nurse at the hospital or your small business where you may eat lumpia or ube, Filipinos are part of Nevada. This is a bill that ensures our most famous Filipino is celebrated in our state to give our community an opportunity and a way to be celebrated. If you don't know who Larry Itliong is, that's why we have this bill. And in the assembly, I made them watch a music video, which I won't make you watch, but I'll send it to your inbox. I think you'll enjoy. And I'll just say that Larry Itliong is the one who actually organized the Delano grape strike before Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez, but is someone that is not always talked about in the history books or people know about it. And so I really hope that this committee can consider passing this bill to show our Filipino community that they matter, they're important, and they're important to the state of Nevada. And with that, I'll take any and all questions.
I know it's timely because I know we are also considering a measure celebrating Dolores Huerta, and it's always important to recognize all the contributions of the different communities that came together to make all that magic happen. Members, any questions? You have, for the first time in this session, completely kept the entire committee silent.
Wow, thank you.
It's impressive. Assemblymember, take that as a badge of honor.
Okay,
With that, we'll go ahead and invite you to sit back, Assemblymember, and we'll invite those wishing to testify in support of Assembly Bill 83 to please come forward, either in Carson City or Las Vegas. I do see some folk joining us in Las Vegas, so we'll go ahead and start in Las Vegas, but if you're in Carson City, feel free to come forward. Good afternoon in Las Vegas.
Good morning, Senate Committee, Chair Flores and Vice Chair Orenshaw. For the record, my name is Shireen Lumibao, CHARINE LOMIBAO. I'm a Filipino community organizer with One APIA Nevada, a nonprofit grassroots organization that educates and advocates for the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities here in Las Vegas. I'm here today in strong support of AB 83, which designates Larry Itliong Day as a day of observance in our state. Nevada is home to over 200,000 Filipino Americans, one of the largest Asian subgroups in the state, and many of them are essential workers in healthcare, hospitality, construction, and the casino industry, fields where Filipino labor is deeply rooted and vital. Just this year, Las Vegas officially recognized Filipino Town, a milestone that reflects both the deep cultural contributions and growing visibility of the Filipino community in Nevada. Larry Itliong's legacy is foundational to this progress. As a pioneering Filipino-American labor leader, he recognized farm workers and fought for fair wages and humane working conditions. His leadership in the Delano grape strike alongside Cesar Chavez transformed labor rights for generations, and especially for immigrant and marginalized workers. By establishing Larry Itliong Day, Nevada honors not just one man's legacy, but the enduring impact of an entire community. This recognition reinforces the values of dignity, equity, and justice that Itliong fought for, and that Filipino Americans in Nevada continue to carry forward. Thank you for your time and thoughtful consideration.
And thank you. I don't see anybody else wishing to join us in Las Vegas, so we'll go ahead and move back to Carson City. Whoever wishes to go first.
Thank you, Chair and committee members. For the record, my name is Noe Orozco. That's N-O-E, accent over the E, O-R-O-S-C-O. I'm the Government Affairs Manager for Make the Road Nevada. We are in strong support of this bill. I myself did have the privilege and honor of being able to learn a little bit about Mr. Itliong as a former farm worker in the state of California, but I really do hope that we are able to pass this bill so that the rest of the state would be able to learn about him. So we urge you to support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair Flores and committee members. For the record, my name is Matilda Miller. That's M-A-T-H-I-L-D-A-M-I-L-L-E-R. I am proud Kanaka Maoli. I'm Native Hawaiian and I'm also Filipino. And I serve as a Government Relations Director for Native Voters Alliance Nevada, and we are in strong support of Assembly Bill 83. The reason why we observe leaders like Larry Itliong is simple, because without him, the story and the promise of America is incomplete. He stood up for rights of farm workers, workers who were treated as disposable even though they fed the nation. His leadership helped transform labor rights across the country, laying the foundation and the groundwork for protections that every American worker benefits from today. Observing Larry Itliong Day is about reminding the next generation that leadership and sacrifice are defined by action, not by fame. It's about honoring those who made this country stronger through hard work, courage, and unwavering belief in the American opportunity. In its heart, what this bill is saying is that our state must honor the principles this country claims to stand for fairness, for dignity, and opportunity for all. We urge your support. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Welcome. My name is Aisha Goins. I'm here on behalf of SEIU 1107, and we strongly support this bill. Chair, I just appreciate the sponsor for bringing this bill, and also we want to just say that we stand in unison with our community partners as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Anyone else wishing to come forward in support of Assembly Bill 83? Seeing none, BPS, we have anyone wishing to join us in support of Assembly Bill 83 over the phone?
If you would like to testify in support of AB 83, please press star 9 now.
Good afternoon, Senate Chair Flores, and to all members. For the record, my name is Sally Balecha as the President for the Desert Mountain Region of National Federation of Filipino American Association, short for NAFA. I strongly advocate AB 83 to establishment of Larry Itliong Day in Nevada. Larry Itliong's tireless efforts in championing labor rights and social justice have left an unforgettable mark on our history. This day will honor his legacy and also inspire our community to continue striving for his justice for all. Thank you.
Before I lose you, are you still on there?
Yes.
Could I have you spell your last name for the record? Just want to make sure we got that.
It's B as a boy, A-L-E-C-H-A, Balecha.
Perfect. Thank you so much for helping me with that. And thank you for joining us. Next caller in support, please.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. My name is Jacqueline De Hoya, Jacqueline, last name D-E space, capital Joya. I am the president of a nonprofit organization called NAFA, the National Federation of Filipino American Association of Nevada. Our mission is to promote the well-being of Filipino Americans throughout the United States. There are approximately 4 million Filipinos in the United States, 270,000 in Nevada, the largest Asian ethnic group. I am in support of bill number AB 83. I believe this bill will make a huge impact in our community. As the president of NAFA Nevada, I am honored to support the establishment
Can you guys hear me?
of Larry Itliong Day in our state. Larry Itliong's legacy as a labor leader and advocate for Filipino American rights is an inspiration to us all. Recognizing his contributions through this special day will not only honor his memory, but also educate future generations about the significant role Filipinos and Filipino Americans have played in our nation's history. Again, my name is Jacqueline De Hoya, and I support bill number AB 83, and I strongly urge you to do the same. Thank you so much for your time.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in support, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. CYRUS HOJJATY. I support this bill. I will ditto the previous commentators. I do support their economic and social contributions to our state. Not only I've lived here because of that, I've been to the Philippines overseas last December. Really great, interesting culture. And yeah, I even dated a Filipina last week from the Rio. Thank you so much. yield my time.
And thank you for joining us. And next caller in support, please.
Chair, you have no more callers in support at this time.
At this time, I'd like to invite those wishing to testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 83. If you could please come forward either in Carson City or Las Vegas. Opposition. Nope. At this time, I'd like to go to the phone to those wishing to testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 83.
If you would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 83, please press star 9 now. Chair, you have no callers in opposition at this time.
All right, thank you. And lastly, we'll invite those wishing to testify in the neutral position to Assembly Bill 83. Mr. Ramirez? Neutral position? No? Okay. Seeing none in Carson City or Las Vegas, we will go next to the phone line. Those wishing to testify in the neutral position to Assembly Bill 83.
If you would like to testify neutral on Assembly Bill 83, please press star 9 now. Chair, you have no callers neutral at this time.
And Assemblymember Mosca, any closing remarks? I am getting the nod. Thank you for joining us. And with that, we'll go ahead and close out the hearing on Assembly Bill 83. And next, we'll open up the hearing on Assembly Bill 144. Assemblymember Bacchus, welcome. It's always great to see you.
Thank you, Chair Flores, Vice Chair Ornshaw, and the hardworking Government Affairs Committee members. I am Shay Bacchus, representing Assembly District 37 in Clark County. Thank you for the opportunity to present Assembly Bill 144, which revises the date to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, as well as set forth measures for celebration of such day. Nevada is the ancestral homelands of the Northern Paiute, Southern Paiute, Washoe, and Fort Mojave. I do want to express my deepest respect and gratitude to our 5 major Indigenous groups who are not only the original caretakers of this land we now call Nevada, but for their enduring stewardship and protection of our shared lands and waterways. Today, Nevada is home to 20 federally recognized tribes comprising of 28 bands and colonies. In addition to our tribal citizens, our state has 60,000 urban Indians who call Nevada home. And there's some new faces on the Senate committee. I'm actually an enrolled member, so I'm one of those 60,000 urban Indians who call Nevada home. Indigenous Peoples Day is being celebrated throughout the United States to celebrate the vast contributions of Indigenous communities and to recommit respecting tribal sovereignty and self-determination and working to usher a new era of government-to-government relationships. In Nevada, statutory language sets forth Indigenous Peoples Day as August 9th, to which celebrations of Indigenous Peoples Day is actually occurring on the second Monday of October, not only in our state, but also around the country. I recall, and I actually, hopefully you got the handout. I'm sorry I didn't get it to you guys more timely, but it was quite interesting. This last October 14th, I had to go make a deposit at the bank, so I did like a 1-pager for you all, but the bill's pretty straightforward. But I wanted to share this photo with you just because one of our local banks actually had posted that they were closed in observance of Federal Columbus Day and State Indigenous Peoples Day, and I thought that was very wishful for me because I knew I had already put a bill in to align the 2 holidays. AB 144 will align the date to honor the resilience of our ancestors and to uplift the enduring legacies of Indigenous peoples, their voices, their cultures, and their connection to this land. This isn't just about a day of recognition, it's about placing Indigenous voices at the forefront of decisions that shape the future of this state. I do want to stress that this bill does not repeal Nevada's observance of Columbus Day, as there has been a lot of miscommunication sent via email that it does that. I will now walk the committee through the sections of the bill.
Subsection 1 of the Section 1 provides the change of the date to celebrate Indigenous Peoples' Day to the second Monday of October. Subsection 2 of Section 1 provides details for the governor's proclamation to celebrate Indigenous Peoples' Day. And this is something that I'm happy about because it kind of provides forth for what the governor can do to celebrate such observant day. It sets forth that the proclamation must call upon the media, public officials, schools, and other public and private entities to bring attention to the importance of Indigenous communities in our state. Such proclamation will also acknowledge the culture and history and significant contributions and advancements made by Indigenous communities and promote active engagement in activities to support the preservation of the distinctive public lands that are sacred to Indigenous communities in our state. In closing, I would like to thank Chair Flores, especially since he's now probably been chairing committees since early this afternoon, and the rest of the members of this committee for hearing this bill today. I ask for your support for Assembly Bill 144, and I stand ready to answer any questions the committee may have.
Thank you, Assemblymember. Questions? We'll start off with Senator Ellison.
Little Butas. Remember that? He put a sign on there. I do have a question. You did mention Christopher Columbus Day. There's a book in Ira Hansen's office. If anybody wants to see the true history about Christopher Columbus, they need to go look at that book and actual facts. And a lot of people don't know that Christopher Columbus was Jewish. And we got two Jewish people in here that they need to look at this book and give the actual facts of what he did, and those that accused him of doing wrongdoing is not true. So it'd be wonderful if people get a minute, go in there and take a look at this book. It's really good, well put together. So I thank you for what you had to say.
Oh, thank you so much, Senator Ellison, by and through Chair Senator Flores. Shea Backus for the record. I don't think you had a question there, but I did want to just stress it because when I was on the Assembly side, I was getting a lot of questions about maybe there would be a confusion if both the days were held on the same day, and I don't think it does that. In fact, I think it's a discussion of, and I think people are confused because they do already think because it's already held in other states that Indigenous Peoples' Day, or they call it New American Day, in other states is held on that second Monday in October. And my little photo was to show everyone, I think even businesses are already confused and think we already celebrate it as a state holiday in connection. Nevada only does Columbus Day as an observant day, while the federal government gives it as a federal holiday.
Members, any additional questions? Seeing none, thank you for the presentation. I'd like to invite you to sit back in the gallery, Assembly Member, and at this time, I'd like to invite those wishing to testify in support of Assembly Bill 144. If you could please come forward. Mr. Ramirez, I think this one for sure you are on board, correct? No? Please.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. For the record, my name is Noe Orozco. That's N-O-E, accent over the E, O-R-O-S-C-O. And I'm the Government Affairs Manager with Make the Road Nevada. We are here in strong support of AB 144. Abya-Yala, Seminawak, and Turtle Island. These are just a few of the indigenous names for the lands that span what is currently the Americas. These are more than just words. They are the memories of migration, of knowledge systems that understood the land as a relative, not as a resource. Yet for too many, these names and the rich histories, teachings, and the ways of life they embody remain unknown, dismissed, or deliberately erased. Our stories have been systematically overlooked, distorted, or silenced through centuries of colonization, violence, and cultural genocide. Recognizing Indigenous Peoples' Day is not solely for the benefit of Indigenous people. It is an opportunity for all of us to gain a fuller, more accurate understanding of our shared histories, and for that, we ask you to support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Whoever wishes to go next, please.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Alejandro Rodriguez, Director of Government Relations for Nevada System of Higher Education, and she is in strong support of AB 144. We'd like to thank Assemblymember Backus, and we urge your strong consideration for this. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Is this close enough? Okay. Good afternoon, Chair Flores and committee members. My name is Jordan Griffin, and I am an intern with Row Law Group here representing two clients, UNLV and NSU, and we are in full support of this bill, and we thank the Assembly member for all of her hard work. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. Sheila Bray with the University of Nevada, Reno. We also are here in full support and thank Assemblywoman Backus for bringing this bill. We just recognize how much this will do for our Indigenous populations, not only at the university, but across the state. And so thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon, welcome.
Halma ne Sydney Williams minani na agaida kada Carson Watt na bikat you. Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Sydney Williams, Sydney Williams. I'm a proud member of the Walker River Paiute Tribe in Schurz, Nevada, and I'm here today with Strategies 360 on behalf of the Elko Band Colony, the Las Vegas Paiute Tribe, and the Reno Sparks Indian Colony. We rise in strong support of AB 144, which would declare the second Monday in October as Indigenous Peoples Day in Nevada. In recent years, Indigenous peoples across our state have gathered on this day, not August 9th, to honor our cultures. We hold round dances, share traditional foods, and celebrate our identities as Native people. The current designation in Nevada law does not reflect the realities of our communities. It asks us to honor ourselves on a day that does not carry the meaning, traditions, or collective recognition that October holds. AB 144 is not about creating something new, it's about aligning state law with the truth of what already exists. Passing this bill is a necessary step towards respect, visibility, and a good faith relationship with Nevada's Indigenous peoples. It costs nothing, yet it carries a profound meaning for communities that have long been overlooked. We urge you to take this simple but significant action to honor Nevada's Indigenous people. As always, we appreciate the committee's willingness to hear from us and many other Native voices in the state. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon, welcome.
Hello, hello, Chair Flores and members of the committee. No J. Guerrero, Minaya, no Quiwadikata. I am a member of the Primer Lake Paiute Tribe. I am the legislative liaison for the Nature Conservancy in Nevada. We support Assembly Bill 144 to revise provisions to Indigenous Peoples Day. We appreciate the guidance included in the bill for the governor's proclamation. Notably, we hear the call to action for nonprofits and other entities to bring attention to the importance of Indigenous communities in the state of Nevada and to promote volunteer stewardship activities that support preservation of lands important to Indigenous communities. We appreciate your consideration and support for AB 144. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair Flores and committee members. For the record, my name is Matilda Miller, Government Relations Director of Native Voters Alliance Nevada, and we are in unwavering support of Assembly Bill 144. Today, the committee is not just hearing a bill, you're answering a question. Will the state of Nevada honor the people who have cared for its lands, protected its future, and carried its spirit since time immemorial? AB 144 answers that question with clarity and conviction. This bill does not erase anyone, and it does not divide. It affirms what tribal nations, some Nevada counties, and businesses across the state and nation already know, that the second Monday in October is a day to honor Indigenous peoples, and it's time for the state to stand alongside them. It recognizes that telling the full truth about who we are does not come at the expense of anyone else. It strengthens the promise of Nevada itself that every voice, every person, and every story has a place. And let me be clear, this day was claimed by our relatives who refused to let memory, culture, and survival be taken from us. If we celebrate it, we teach it, and we live it. We know what erasure feels like, where our languages were stolen, our histories were rewritten, our survival was treated as an afterthought. Yet despite every attempt to erase us, we are still here. This bill is about recognition and truth, and it's a step towards a Nevada where Native children can grow up seeing their identities honored, and where elders and who have endured every attempt at erasure can finally witness a state move closer to justice. And most importantly, we are extremely grateful to Assemblymember Backus for carrying this measure, for refusing to let our stories be erased, and for fighting to build a Nevada where Native children are protected, our identities are celebrated, and justice for missing and murdered relatives is a promise kept. We urge your support. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Good afternoon, welcome.
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Olivia Tanager. For the record, I'm the director of the Sierra Club's Toyabe chapter. We're the largest grassroots environmental organization in the state of Nevada. At its core, environmental stewardship and the movement for Indigenous recognition are deeply interconnected. Indigenous communities have served the original caretakers of Nevada's lands, waters, and wildlife since time immemorial.
Moving Indigenous Peoples Day to October ensures this recognition is given the full attention it deserves. It's a necessary step in honoring those who have nurtured Nevada's rich biodiversity long before Nevada became a state. It acknowledges the crucial contributions Native communities have made and continue to make in protecting sacred landscapes, safeguarding water sources, and defending ecosystems against exploitation. With that, we urge your full support to AB 144, and I do want to clear up a misconception. Tony Ramirez is also in full support of this bill, so I just wanted to put that on the record. Thank you.
And thank you and him for joining us. Whoever wishes to go next.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Hector Arreola, and I am the Policy Fellow with the Nevada Environmental Justice Coalition, and we are here in full support of Assembly Bill 144. Indigenous people have cared for these lands, waters, and sacred places guided by tradition that honor balance, responsibility, and respect. Their leadership is not a memory, it is a lived force that continues to shape how we protect our environment and defend places we call home. Recognizing Indigenous Peoples Day on the correct day, the second Monday in October, is a commitment to honoring the leadership, amplifying Indigenous voices, and ensuring that future generations inherit in Nevada where culture, land, and community are protected together. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you, committee. I'm here today, and for the record, Ryan Beeman representing myself. I'm here today to support AB 144. As a Native American and a member of the Tashimba Shoshone tribe, I believe this legislation is a vital step recognizing our deep culture contributions of Indigenous communities and ensuring that our history is accurately represented. For centuries, the Tashimba Shoshone tribe have called Death Valley home long before it was born the name. Our ancestors thrived in harsh desert landscapes, adapting to challenges in that area. Our people traded with neighboring tribes, contributing to the vast network of culture exchanged. Yet despite our deep-root presence, history has often overlooked us. When Death Valley was designated as a national monument in 1933, the federal government disregarded our existence, labeling the land as uninhabited. AB 144 is a chance to ensure that our Indigenous voices are heard, that our contributions are acknowledged, and the future generations understand the resilience and wisdom of Native people. By recognizing Indigenous People Day, Nevada takes a meaningful step towards reconciling, fostering a more inclusive society where Native voices are valued. I urge your support for AB 144. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Aisha Goins, Aesha Goins. I am here on behalf of SEIU 1107. I just want to thank the sponsor for bringing this bill. It's such an important piece of legislation, and it gives me great pleasure to just be able to say I support the voices that came before me and the stories that were shared, and please take those into consideration. Thank you. We support this bill.
Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Willett. My last name is spelled Willett, and I'm the Senior Campaign Manager at All Voting is Local Action Nevada, an organization that advocates for policies and legislative priorities that expand voter access. We support AB 144. We recognize that Indigenous peoples are the original stewards of this land, and their contributions are deeply woven into Nevada's past and present, and their leadership continues to shape our communities and our shared future. Honoring Indigenous Peoples Day on the correct day, the day chosen by Indigenous communities, is one way we reinforce our overarching commitment to equity for tribes, which includes the right to vote without barriers, a longstanding issue for tribal members. We urge the committee to pass AB 144. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Alex Tanchek with Silver State Government Relations, representing the Pyramid Lake Paiute Tribe and the Duck Valley Shoshone Paiute Tribes. The tribes are in full support of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Shatabino, no Calboon, Menania, no Kai Dakota. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cal Boone, Calboone, and I'm a member of the Walker River Paiute Nation. I am here to urge your support for AB 144. I think Nevada is in a unique place right now, given that it already leads in the country for so much for Nevada's tribes, whether that's for voting access, recognition, and things like that. So I think supporting AB 144 would continue this momentum and be really great for Nevada's tribes and Indigenous population. Thank you.
And thank you. Is there anybody else wishing to testify in support in Carson City? Seeing none, we'll go to Las Vegas. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair and Committee. My name is Kanali Ainuu, spelled Kenaleainuuu. I'm with One API Nevada, and we are here in full support of AB 144, which acknowledges Indigenous Peoples Day. We stand in solidarity with the Indigenous communities of Nevada. This bill serves as a meaningful step towards honoring their rich cultural heritage, recognizing their deep historical roots in this region, and affirming our commitment to respect and inclusion. This date is already celebrated and recognized by many businesses and communities in Nevada and nationally. It's time for Nevada to formally recognize this day. We urge you to support this bill. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Is there anybody else in Las Vegas wishing to testify in support of Senate Bill 144? Seeing none, we'll go to the phone lines. BPS, support for AB 144.
If you would like to testify in support of AB 144, please press *9 now to take your place in the queue. Caller with the last three digits of 852, please press *6 to unmute. Again, caller with the last three digits of 852. Thank you. Please continue.
Hello, Chair Flores and committee members. For the record, my name is Jajona Witherspoon. That's JIZHONI-WITHERSPOON, and I'm a member of the Navajo Nation. I am testifying today in support of Assembly Bill 144 because when I first moved to Nevada, I knew little about the tribes here, and I felt alone and isolated, far from my community. It wasn't until I walked across UNLV's campus and discovered the Festival of Communities that I found a sense of belonging. Through that experience, I learned about the 28 federally recognized tribes in Nevada, and this bill is about making sure that our people feel seen and heard. It acknowledges our presence and raises awareness of a history too often overlooked in textbooks. It also eases the burden on Native people who constantly have to explain their identity in every interaction. By passing this bill, we take an important step and recognition towards recognition and understanding. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in support, please.
Good afternoon, Chair Flores, Vice Chair Orenshaw, and committee members. My name is Bree Schmidt, BRISCHMIDT, and I'm speaking in support of AB 144 on behalf of Silver State Equality, Nevada's statewide LGBTQ+ civil rights organization. I am also a lifelong Nevadan and Italian American. Our Indigenous siblings have been caring for this land for forever. I learn, read, grow, and work on lands originally belonging to the Washoe, Northern Paiute, Southern Paiute, and Shoshone peoples. The stewardship of this state by Indigenous peoples deserves the recognition of the state to honor this day, which is already observed by countless communities, counties, and businesses in Nevada. I urge the Senate to support this important measure. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in support.
Hello, Chair Flores and committee member. For the record, my name is Dominic D. Geronimo. That's DOMINICDIGERONIMO. I support AB 144 because honoring Indigenous peoples is not just about the past, it is about the future we are choosing to build. The traditions, knowledge, and resilience of Native communities have carried this land through centuries of change. They deserve more than a mention in our history books. They deserve a place in our present and in the future we are shaping together. Recognizing Indigenous Peoples Day is one way we show that respect. It is one way we move forward together. I urge your support. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in support.
Caller with the last three digits of 409, please press *6 to unmute. Please continue.
Good afternoon, members of the Committee on Government Affairs. My name is Jane Audette, for the record, AUDETTE, resident of North Las Vegas and member of Showing Up for Racial Justice Las Vegas. I'm calling in support of SB 144, Indigenous Peoples Day. Surge Las Vegas organizes white people to act for racial justice with sustained engagement and accountability, particularly through educating them about the history and lived experiences of BIPOC folks in our community. We do not assume that white people are entering justice work having been taught the history, nor do we assume that they have ever been exposed to the lived experiences of those of other races, ethnicities, and cultures. We consider this part of our work. The establishment of a state-recognized Indigenous Peoples Day on the second Monday in October in Nevada, recognizes the need for all of us to learn directly from our Indigenous brothers and sisters. For white people, it provides a frame for learning history and experiences that we may not have ever had access to. It provides us an opportunity to engage in unlearning previous misinformation and biases and to fill gaps in our understanding. Everyone in our state can benefit from the celebration of this day. I urge support of AB 144. Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in support.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. For the record, my name is Mark Diefenbacher. That's M-A-R-K-D-I-E, F-E-N-B-A-C-H-E-R. I'm a resident of Senate District 8. I'm testifying today in support of Assembly Bill 144. I encourage this committee to support moving Nevada's current Indigenous Peoples Day to align with the National Observance Day and join the 18 other states that have done right by honoring a date chosen by Indigenous peoples of this land. Given that Indigenous peoples purposely chose the October date, and we as Nevadans have an opportunity to honor that decision, we can demonstrate to the rest of America a level of growth in Nevadans' understanding and appreciation toward our Indigenous neighbors. This type of demonstration has the power to spark our fellow Nevadans' continued growth in this area that can lead to beneficial relationship building with the Indigenous community. This bill can also act as a catalyst for other states and localities to establish a proper Indigenous Peoples Day in October. I urge this committee to support AB 144, knowing that passage sends a broader message beyond a date change. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in support.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Tara Webster, T-A-R-A-W-E-B-S-T-E-R. I'm calling on behalf of the Progressive Leadership Alliance of Nevada, and I'm here to represent my peer, Ms. Leslie Vega. This bill is not only about a date on the calendar, it is about truth, recognition, and respect. For too long, the histories and contributions of Indigenous peoples have been minimized and erased. Establishing Indigenous Peoples Day and a day-long associated colonial conquest is a profound step toward acknowledging the full, complex history of the land. This day will also serve as a source of pride and belonging for Native youth growing up in Nevada. It sends a clear message that their ancestors' sacrifices and triumphs are not footnotes in history. They're the foundational to the story of Nevada itself. Please support AB 144.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in support.
Hello, good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Yesenia Castro, and I'm calling on behalf of the Nevada Conservation League, as well as somebody who belongs to the Purepecha community of Las Vegas. Nevada's Indigenous community's deep connection to the land continues to inspire stewardship and resilience today. By understanding their history and contributions, we honor the authentic spirit of this land and its people. Recognizing Indigenous Peoples Day celebrates the resilience, culture, and stories of the people who shaped this land and continue to do so. We urge the community to support this bill. Thank you for your time.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in support.
Good afternoon, Chair Flores and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Ryan Vordish. That's spelled R-Y-A-N, last name V-O-R-T-I-S-C-H, and I am the Northern Nevada Democracy Coordinator of Silver State Voices. I'm here to testify in support of AB 144 on behalf of my organization. At Silver State Voices, we recognize that Indigenous peoples have cared for this land since time immemorial,
and that the second Monday of October is the correct day in which Indigenous Peoples Day is observed. We'd like to uplift the other supporting testimonies the committee has heard and urge you to pass AB 144. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in support.
Good afternoon. My name is December Cucaro. First name spelled like the month, last name spelled Cuccaro for the record. I'm calling in support of AB 144. As you can tell, maybe by my last name, I am an Italian American, and I stand with our Native siblings as they advocate to celebrate and honor their communities on the correct day, the second Monday in October. It does not hurt me or my culture to share the day with them and to recognize the full history of what happened. Indigenous people have been here since time immemorial and deserve this date, which is already observed by counties, businesses, and communities across the state and the nation. So it's only time for Nevada to do the same. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Do we have any other callers in support?
Chair, you have no more callers in support at this time.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite those wishing to testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 144, either in Carson City or Las Vegas, to please come forward. I do see just one person in Las Vegas, so we'll start in Las Vegas and then we'll bring it back to Carson City. Good afternoon, Las Vegas. Welcome.
Thank you, Chair Flores and members of the committee. My name is Jill Douglas, Douglass. I rise today in strong opposition to AB 144, the bill that seeks to erase Columbus Day and replace it with Indigenous People Day. Let me be clear, honoring the history and contributions of Native Americans is extremely important, and that is why we have a Nevada law declaring August the 9th as Indigenous People Day. Why August the 9th? Because this is also the International Day of the world's Indigenous people. We should not tear down another important part of our history. We should not rewrite our shared story to fit a political agenda. Christopher Columbus' journey marked the beginning of Western civilization's arrival in the Americas, a bold and pivotal event that ultimately shaped the world we live in today. Columbus Day honors not just a man, but the spirit of exploration, innovation, and courage that built our nation. It reflects our shared American story of striving, discovery, and progress. Tearing down Columbus Day does not heal divisions, it deepens them. It sends the dangerous message that our history is something to be ashamed of, instead of something to be understood and learned from. Erasing one group's contributions to elevate another's is divisive and unfair and is not the way to unite. We can honor and uplift without erasing. No one should be confused. We should not dismantle the traditions and heritage that millions of Americans, especially Italian Americans, hold dear. I urge this body to reject AB 144, keeping Nevada's celebration of Indigenous People Day as already established on August the 9th. Let us move forward by honoring all history, not rewriting it. Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us. I don't see anybody else in Las Vegas. We'll come here to Carson City. Whoever wishes to go first.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Janine Hansen. I'm the state president of Nevada Families for Freedom. As you've heard, Nevada already has an Indigenous Peoples Day on August 9th. This is the International Day for Indigenous People. Columbus, we don't object to that. We think it's good. But this bill erases and supersedes the historical Columbus Day. Columbus Day marks the beginning of recorded history, the exchange between America and Europe for music, science, medicine, philosophy, religious principles, and these include Greek democracy, Roman law, Judeo-Christian ethics, and the tenet that all men are created equal. The first time it was celebrated was in 1792 in honor of the 300th anniversary. The Pledge of Allegiance was written in 1892 to honor the 400th anniversary of this voyage, and President Benjamin Harrison declared it Columbus Day as a legal holiday. In 1971, Columbus Day became a federal holiday in all 50 states after Congress passed a law declaring the second Monday in October as Columbus Day. Columbus Day is the only day on which the nation recognizes the heritage of an estimated 26 million Italian Americans. We don't need to erase the heritage and the history of one group in order to acknowledge another. We oppose this bill because it erases and supersedes Columbus Day. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Joy Trushensky, Trushenski. I'm a non-paid lobbyist and a Navy veteran. Please vote no on AB 144. Nevada already has an Indigenous Peoples Day on August 9th. This bill seeks to replace Columbus Day, which is currently celebrated on October 12th, and diminishes and erases our history. If you did not know, Columbus Day was first celebrated October 12th, 1792, and is one of America's oldest holidays. It celebrates the beginning of cultural exchange between America and Europe. Because of Christopher Columbus, millions of European immigrants came to America, bringing Roman law, Judeo-Christian principles, and the idea that all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Additionally, President Trump vows to bring back Columbus Day, as Democrats have done everything possible to destroy Christopher Columbus's reputation. Please vote no on AB 144 and keep our historical heritage. Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Chair and Committee. My name is Joshua Skaggs, and I'm the Legislative Affairs Director for the Nevada Republican Party, here today in opposition to AB 144. AB 144 represents yet another attempt to diminish key elements of American history and to diminish the cultural heritage of millions of Italian Americans for whom Christopher Columbus is a symbol of pride, perseverance, and contribution to the American fabric. The 45th and 47th President Donald J. Trump recently addressed this troubling trend, stating, quote, "I'm bringing Columbus Day back from the ashes. The Democrats did everything possible to destroy Christopher Columbus, his reputation, and all of the Italians that love him so much. They tore down his statues and put up nothing but woke, or even worse, nothing at all. Well, you'll be happy to know Christopher is going to make a major comeback. I am hereby reinstating Columbus Day under the same rules, dates, and locations, and it has had for all the many decades before," end quote. Columbus Day has long been a celebration of exploration, discovery, and the vital contributions of Italian Americans to this country. Diminishing Columbus Day by copying and pasting another day of remembrance on top of it undermines not only our shared history, but also the generations of Americans who have celebrated this holiday. Honoring Indigenous peoples is unquestionably important, and many of us support efforts to recognize their history and rights. But that recognition need not come at the expense of another group's heritage. August 9th is already recognized internationally as Indigenous Peoples Day. Moving Nevada's recognition of that to Columbus Day is unacceptable. Please vote no on AB 144, and thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Is there anybody else wishing to testify in opposition? Seeing none in Carson City or Las Vegas. BPS, anyone wishing to join us in opposition to Assembly Bill 144?
If you would like to testify in opposition of AB 144, please press *9 now.
Hello, my name is Michael Ryan, Michaelryan. I'm a longtime resident of Nevada and a Marine Corps veteran. Please vote no on AB 144. Nevada already has an Indigenous Peoples Day on August 9th, but this bill seeks to diminish the importance of Columbus Day and erase our important history. I am proud to celebrate Columbus Day each year. Why do you want to change this holiday into something that it is not? This is totally unacceptable. Please do not support AB 144. Please vote no on this bill. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Next caller in opposition.
CYRUSHOJJACY. We support the contributions of the Amerindian community. And first of all, thank you so much, all the members of the committee good afternoon. We support and appreciate their contributions. However, we believe that this is a struggle against European influence and the impact that it's brought into the Western Hemisphere. Not to mention the values, the innovation, and the cultural impact. Right now, I am taxi staging at the Caesar's Palace, a Roman-themed casino located in present-day Italy. Now think about a lot of the hotel casino themes are European themed. Look at the cultural influence. We believe that this primarily pushes guilt of the fact that European influence has been very, very negative. Correct me if I'm wrong. And in fact, if we're going to push this bill, maybe we should have an Armenian Day in the country of Turkey, considering what the Turks did to the Armenians about 100 years ago. Think about it. And I'm very, very concerned about these cultural trends. Look at comedian Bill Maher. He'll tell you that a lot of these trends are very, very concerning. So we will ditto the previous commentators. Thank you so much. Yield.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in opposition.
Good afternoon. My name is Lynn Chapman, Lynnchapman, and I'm the state treasurer of the Independent American Party. It is wonderful to celebrate different people from different cultures and to learn and share together. And that being said, why would we as a state want to dismiss other people's culture and history? Well, we should not. We have a day that is celebrated as Indigenous Peoples Day, which is August 9th, and we should share, learn, and shine a light on their culture and people. December 23rd, 1994, the United Nations General Assembly adopted Resolution 49-214, in which it named August 9th as each year as International Day of the World's Indigenous Peoples Day. But to have chosen another day to celebrate as well, that would erase and diminish other people's day of culture and celebration, that is the wrong thing to do. Leave Columbus Day celebrations as the second Monday in October, as it's been celebrated since October 12, 1792, and leave Indigenous Peoples Day as August 9th. Otherwise, it shows that Nevada is trying to divide people, not bring people together. Look at the opinion. 71% oppose this bill, and there's a reason why. Let us all show respect to other cultures, peoples, and their celebrations. Please vote no. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in opposition, please.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the board. My name is Lorena Biasotti. That's Lorena Biassotti, speaking for myself. I oppose AB 144. I find it incredibly disingenuous to claim that we are not attempting to replace Columbus Day. The truth is that the history and traditions of America have been under attack, and worse, from within. Indigenous populations make up just 5% of Nevada's residents. To prioritize celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day over honoring the brave explorer Christopher Columbus, who navigated dangerous seas to discover these lands, discredits the very foundation upon which we all, 100% of us, sit and live today. I am not opposed to celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day. What I oppose is the deliberate attempt to replace a longstanding American tradition. Why are we being told that this new observance is the quote-unquote correct one? In reality, it is not. This has become a social justice issue, one that our legislators should not be taking up. Your oath is to honor this great nation. The descendants of Indigenous tribes, like all of us, benefit from the discovery of the New World, living today in the greatest and strongest country on earth. Not in peace, but in modern prosperity. I strongly urge you to oppose this bill. Please prioritize the needs of your constituents that have elected you to improve their lives. Constantly chipping away at our country's traditions simply is not it. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in opposition.
Caller, please press *6 to unmute. Please continue.
Good morning, members of the committee. My name is Angel DeFazio, DeFazio. I want to preface my comments to start with this is no disrespect to the indigenous people. Now, over the weekend, I sent an email to every member of the committee on the true history of how Columbus Day came about. By you suppressing Columbus Day and inserting indigenous people, the horrific lynching and murder of innocent Italians in 1891 in New Orleans is being whitewashed. This incident was so horrendous that President Harrison actually pulled our ambassador from Italy, and Italy took their ambassador from here for fear of war with Italy. So in order to appease Italy and the Italian Americans, they needed a figurehead, and that was Columbus because he's well known. Somehow, Columbus Day got bastardized and included what happened with the indigenous people. This is not true. My people were slaughtered, but yet you want to ignore that fact. Please do not vote for this bill. There is already a day celebrating the indigenous people. Yes, they made contributions to our country. There is no denying that, but so have my people. And so, with all due respect, I wish that you would read that full email PDF that I gave you. Thank you.
And thank you, and I do know that the members did get a copy of that email. Thank you for sharing that. Next caller in opposition, please.
Hi, this is Al Lasso, Lasso from Las Vegas. I'm just confused as to why this body would want to diminish the important and significant contributions of the indigenous people by celebrating indigenous people on the same day with another important holiday, Columbus Day. Celebrating two holidays on the same day can potentially diminish and dilute the significance of each holiday because it divides attention and focus, making it harder to give either celebration the full recognition and respect they deserve. While it's possible to celebrate multiple holidays on the same day, doing so can weaken the emotional and cultural impact of each event. For holidays to retain their full honor, it's often better for each to be given its own space and time for reflection, celebration, and community gathering. Why would you want to diminish the indigenous people by giving them a holiday that they share with another one? Why not give them their own holiday? This way, everyone can focus on celebrating indigenous people on that day rather than sharing it with another holiday. So I ask you to vote no for those reasons on this bill. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in opposition, please.
Hi, my name is Catherine Ivanov, IVNOSF. I want to say that I have a very big respect for the indigenous people in this country, and I think we should look in more into the way they care of their health, and the way they do things are very, very good, not the way we do things. However, I am in a position of this bill for the many things said before me. I'm just going to say ditto everything that was said in opposition. Thank you and have a lovely day.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in opposition, please.
Chair, you have no more callers in opposition at this time.
Thank you. And now we'll go to those wishing to testify in the neutral position to Assembly Bill 144. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Today I am representing Will Adler, as I am just Will Adler. But I did want to testify neutral on this bill, just some of the comments recently. Interestingly enough, Columbus Day is an odd day in itself. Columbus did sail to America in 1492, but he thought of himself as discovering Asia, actually, and he only made it to about Cuba, and then he went home. Again, there is Italian pride here, but the correct person was probably Americo Vespucci. He's the guy who actually named America after himself, the Americas, Americo. But additionally, Italy itself wasn't a country at the time in 1492. It in fact took the Napoleon conquering of like the 1861 era to unify Italy into one kingdom. The Italian kingdom of Napoleon became Italy then. So it's a weird conflict to say that we must support Italian pride for a man who identified as Spanish, who sailed here under their flag and represented a city-state because they weren't a country at that time. But I do think this bill has merits. I just wanted to put on the record, there's some mixing of Italian pride and bags here that might not be needed in this conversation. But thank you very much. Neutral.
Thank you. Members, any questions? Seeing none, thank you. Anybody else wishing to testify in the neutral position? Seeing none, VPS, do we have anybody wishing to join us over the phone in the neutral position?
If you would like to testify neutral on AB 144, please press star 9 now.
Good afternoon. I apologize. I didn't have my hand raised for opposition. Is it too late to testify in opposition?
No worries, please continue.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Johnston Linsday, and that's Linsday, and I'm just calling on behalf of myself. I would like you guys to please vote in opposition of this bill. As I understand, we already have a day to recognize Indigenous peoples, August 9th, and that's wonderful. I do feel like it's an attempt to undermine Columbus Day because of social justice issues that are prevalent right now. So I don't think it's truly genuine nor necessary, since we do already recognize that day, August 9th. And that's all. Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us. And now we'll go to neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 144. Just want to make sure nobody else joined us last second.
Chair, you have no callers that are neutral at this time.
Thank you. And lastly, any closing remarks?
Just briefly, I just want to thank the committee for sitting through a lot of testimony and just really stress and reiterate this bill does not repeal Columbus Day. We heard from members of our community that Indigenous Peoples Day is already being celebrated by numerous tribes, as well as different communities throughout our state, as well as recognized by the United States as being also the second Monday in October. And I'm just really proud of our state in Nevada. We've done a lot of work with our government-to-government relationships with our tribes, and this just simply codifies the observance of a day that is being celebrated. And I just want to thank the committee for your time today and just urge your support for Assembly Bill 144. Thank you.
And again, thank you, Assembly Member, for joining us. And with that, we'll go ahead and close out the hearing on Assembly Bill 144, and we'll move to our last bill hearing for the day, Assembly Bill 342. And we'll say welcome back, Senator Spearman. It's always great to see you. And whenever you're ready.
Thank you, and I'll preface my comments with this. I bought my hearing aids, but I forgot to charge them last night, so if I do this, because I can't hear you, but thank you for having me again. It's great to be back. Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. For the record, I am former Senator Pat Spearman. I served as state senator representing Senate District 1 in Clark County 12 years, from November 2012 to November 2024. I'm also a veteran and served almost 30 years in the military. I'm excited to be back in the legislature this afternoon to present Assembly Bill 342, which designates the month of March as Women Veterans History Month. I'd like to first provide a little bit of background on this bill. This recommendation came from the Legislative Committee on Senior Citizens, Veterans, and Adults with Special Needs, and I had the honor of serving as chair of this committee in the past interim. Of course, veterans are one of the key populations of focus within this committee. And one topic we particularly focused on in this interim was women veterans. Various presenters in this area discussed the specific issues and concerns facing women veterans, such as the lack of recognition. A 2023 RAND Health Quarterly publication notes, for example, that women service members tend to face increased scrutiny while serving. But once they transition to civilian life, once we transition to civilian life, we become invisible. Furthermore, women service members are often confronted with sexual violence, and the United States Department of Veterans Affairs reports that on average, 1 in 3 women veterans tell the Veterans Health Administration, healthcare provider, about experiencing some type of sexual harassment or assault in the military. I am one of those 1 in 3. In 1986, as a young captain, I experienced sexual harassment from an 06 colonel in Panama. He didn't get far, but the fact that he threatened to ruin my career was enough for me to keep my mouth shut, keep my head down, and try to help other women to avoid that type of disastrous behavior. Assembly Bill 342 designates the month of March each year as Women Veterans History Month here in Nevada. It requires the governor to issue an annual proclamation encouraging the observance of Women Veterans History Month. The proclamation must include, without limitation, call upon the news media, educators, appropriate governmental officers to bring women veterans history and contributions to the attention of Nevada residents. From the Revolutionary War to today's fighter pilots, women have proudly served in the U.S. military for over 200 years. March 21st, 2023, since the Al-Qaeda terrorist attacks on us in September the 11th, 2001, more than 300,000 U.S. women have been deployed to Iraq or Afghanistan. 166 lost their lives in the war on terrorism, and 100 more received permanent physical, emotional, mental trauma as a result of their service. And although I did not deploy to Iraq or Afghanistan, my service at the Pentagon afforded me an opportunity to carry these alphabets for the rest of my life, PTSD, because of what I saw happening on the battlefield. And I will tell you that when the IEDs, the improvised explosive devices, went off, there was not a difference between gender, male or female, and many of the people who were killed in those attacks were women. I often ask people, close your eyes, and when I say veteran, tell me what you see. Characteristically, they usually say, I see a guy. I say, stop right there. That's the problem. Because we served too. We served too. In 2017, I had an opportunity to meet a Nevada resident who, up until December of last year, her story had not been told. She happened to be one of my constituents. And perhaps you've seen the Netflix movie, The 6888. It's about 6888 Postal Battalion, more than 800 women, the only all-female battalion sent overseas during World War II. Sorry. They were sent to unclog the mail that had piled up over a few years. And if you've ever been stationed overseas, you know how important the mail is. No mail, low morale. She said they sent us over there to prove that women, particularly the Negro women of the Women's Army Corps, could not accomplish the mission. But they did so, and they did so in record time. 2020, I had the opportunity to go to Miss Lena King, that's her name, to go to her 99th birthday party. And as we sat there and the testimonials were coming forth and the accolades were being presented, I saw out of the right side, peripheral vision, a rather tall gentleman coming down the aisle. And I saw Mrs. King. She was only about 4'11". I saw her sit up in her chair and do this. And as he came in full view, I said, oh my God, it's Tyler Perry. And he went to the stage and he knelt down and he said, Mrs. King, your story will be told. It has languished in obscurity far too long. And he said, and I am committed to bringing the story of the 6888 to the American people. And I promise you, we're putting full force and effort, my company, behind this. They finished the film in January of 2024, and he went to Las Vegas, to Mrs. King's home, and showed her the film. Unfortunately, she passed a few weeks later, just before her 100th birthday. Some people will ask, well, why do we need a Women's Veterans History Month? If you've ever seen women serving proudly, I was commissioned in December of 1977. I was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Army Military Police Corps. Look at the history. They didn't want black people in the Military Police Corps. They sure as heck didn't want women. As a matter of fact, through the whole 5 months of my basic training, my basic officers training, they did everything they could to make me drop. We would do push-ups for our physical fitness test, and I'd have to do 5 before they'd count 1. Somehow, when we were doing the run, somehow the clock would get jammed and it wouldn't stop when I crossed the finish line. And someone said to me, didn't that make you angry? I said, no, because what they meant to break me built me. And in spite of the obstacles that I faced in my almost 30 years of military service, I managed to rise to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. I am but one woman who has served honorably and proudly in the United States military forces. I urge you, please recognize our service. Please recognize our service and pass this bill. Thank you.
And thank you again for the presentation, and obviously to all. Members, any questions? Questions?
I don't have a
Senator
question,
Ellison,
I've got a
please.
comment. We try to show as much respect to our veterans, female, male, but I've had the honor to drive several of them in the parades and honor them during the 4th of July or Veterans Day in our convertible to show our respect for what they've done for this country. And my daughter or granddaughter just drove one of them just recently and had the big reef on it, showing respect for our veterans, the women veterans, and what they do. So there's a lot of us have so much pride for what they've done and what they did during their service. And thank you for your service. I remember when we put in the veterans, the Women's Veterans Day license plates. I don't know if we still have them or not, but we got them passed, what? I was in the assembly. So I don't know if they're still being active or still using them or what, but them plates should still be out there and active, and that money should be going to the veterans women's group. So I hope it does, and I hope it did finish and are still being used. I don't know if you can answer that or not. No.
Sure, if you'd like to come up, please.
For the record, my name's Andrew LaPelbit, and the answer is they're still active and we're still issuing them from the DMV, the Women Veterans Plates.
And that was an honor to get that through. Thank you. I just said that was an honor to get them through and to show respect for what they done. This is one country under God. And the sacrifices made was a lot of them. So thank you.
Members, Senator Rogich, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for highlighting this important issue.
I'm sorry, I'm having just a little bit of problem hearing, so.
I commend that you're here and you're highlighting this important issue. We had a neighbor once upon a time. She served in World War II, and she was a proud woman, and she was strong. She was independent, but in her later years, she was alone, and there was not that recognition. And so thank you for bringing this forth. She served in World War II as a nurse. The positions were very limited then, and so, but she never truly received the recognition that she deserved and the commitment throughout her life. So thank you.
Sorry, Pat Spearman for the record. Rarely do we receive that recognition. I just want to add one thing before I step back. I was honored to speak with a mother whose daughter, the grandfather, the father, the great-grandfather, the father, grandfather and the father, 3 generations had served in the military. She was in Richmond, Virginia. And she said all her daughter wanted to do was just join the military. And she was in ROTC in high school. And so she joined under the delayed entry program. And she was so proud. And once she finished, she went on into the military, and she was in the logistics. She was there as a logistics specialist. And her mom said, I thought that was just great because being in supply would mean that she wouldn't be there, come into harm's way. Well, she was deployed to Iraq. She finished school at Fort Lee in September and sent to Iraq in October. And her mother said all she wanted to do was serve. The last phone call that she got from her daughter, She said her daughter was saying, I don't know why we're here, the people don't want us here, and Mom, I'm scared, I'm not gonna come back. And she said, I've got to go because we're getting ready to go out on a convoy. And just as an aside, one of the reasons I have fought so hard for renewable energy is because 6 out of every 10 deaths in Iraq and Afghanistan happened because people were guarding oil. Her mom said she didn't hear from her for about a week and a half until the chaplain came to the door. Her daughter had been killed in that convoy escort by an IED. The funeral was a closed coffin because the only thing that was left was what they could gather after the explosion. If you want to know what that is, because, you know, it's very, very polite to say it's just an IED. But if you take a tomato, put some ketchup on it, help me with this, put some mayonnaise on it and some relish, maybe some hamburger meat, and you get that all mixed up, and then smash it. That's what that mother got back. Please, we served valiantly, and we served honorably. This is but a small thing to ask so that we're not invisible. Thank you.
Members, any additional questions or comments? Thank you again for the presentation. I'd like to invite you to sit back, and I'd like to invite those wishing to testify in support of Assembly Bill 342 to please come forward.
Chair Flores and committee members, for the record, my name is Andrew Lee Pilbett. I'm the state chairman of the United Veterans Legislative Council, representing the 250,000 veterans and 500,000 Nevadans when you include their families. The little bit I'm going to say here is a little different. Every year between sessions, we bring all these veterans together around the state, and we ask them what they want us to work on with all of you and all the assembly. This past year, we had 69 priorities that these veterans came up with, of which we distributed to all of you. Hopefully you received them. We also had 14 federal issues, which we shared with the Congress individuals and the senators. And number 13 on that 69 priority list was this bill. 13 out of 69, that's where it was ranked in terms of the votes. And every single one of these 69, we had them vote on them statewide. And this was 13th out of the 69. So a big deal to our veteran community to recognize our women. Now, I'm the father of 4 daughters, a wife, and somewhere in there's a son. And I recognize a lot of the issues. My kids didn't go in the military, and I came from a military family. But you know, the wives, brothers, sisters, fathers, they all served with us. I served 55 to 60 years ago, and yes, I really am that old. And it was about 2% of the population of veterans were women. Today, it varies between 16 and 23%. And on average, I believe it's right around 19%. Lieutenant Colonel Spearman can straighten me out if that's not correct. But my last look at those statistics. So the women have become a significant element in our military and our logistics chain specifically, and our warfighting planes. A lot of our warfighting pilots are women today. In my day, you didn't see a woman near a helicopter or a jet plane. And now they're a significant part of it. I think this is the right thing to do, not just honoring what our veterans expect me to do here. We should approve this bill. It is the right thing to do for many, many decades. And a lot of women, we don't even know they were there serving for us. We don't even know. It's like the postal battalion. I knew about the Postal Battalion, but I'll give you that 99.9% of Americans don't have a clue about the all-black Postal Battalion in World War II. My dad's a Pearl Harbor survivor. My grandfather was a World War I survivor on the USS Arizona. I have a brother finished as a one-star general. I was an infantry officer in Vietnam. I have 2 sailor brothers. I have a Marine. Now, we don't hold that against him, but so anyway, let's support this bill, and the United Veterans Legislative Council wholly supports this bill. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Good afternoon.
Hello, everyone. Sheila Bray with the University of Nevada, Reno. I just want to start off by saying to Senator Spearman and the gentleman before me, thank you for your service. We're completely behind this bill and believe it just highlights the work and the experience and the dedication and service that our women veterans have made to our country. And I think just a testament already has been the experiences that were highlighted as part of this presentation. Many of us may have known, maybe many of us have learned that just now. So I think that stands true for what this bill is intended to do, is to highlight some of those experiences, and we stand behind this bill. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Is there anybody else in Carson City? Seeing none, we'll go to Las Vegas.
Good afternoon, Chair Flores, Vice Chair Orenshaw, and members of the Senate Government Affairs Committee. My name is Fred Wagar, W-A-G-A-R, and I am the Southern Nevada State Legislative Chair for the Department of the Veterans of Foreign Wars and the Benefits Protection Team Lead for the Nevada Department of Disabled American Veterans. I want to thank you for the opportunity to present testimony in support of Nevada Assembly Bill 342. Due to time, I have shortened my remarks, but I do want to start out by saying thank you to the Legislative Committee on Senior Citizens, Veterans, and Adults with Special Needs, and a special thank you to Senator Spearman for presenting today. The Women Veterans Advisory Committee has advocated for this recognition for years, and it's good to see it finally made it into a bill. This bill is an important step toward recognizing the invaluable contribution of women veterans, preserving their legacy, and inspiring future generations to honor their sacrifices. Women, as Senator Spearman pointed out, women veterans have played integral roles in the United States military since the Revolutionary War, and I doubt very many people know that. Today, they constitute a vital part of our armed forces, with their numbers continually increasing in our military. Despite their vital contributions, women veteran stories are often overlooked in the broader narrative of military history. AB 342 seeks to change this by creating a dedicated month to honor their service, ensuring their stories are told, remembered, and celebrated. VFW and DAV organizations urge you to support AB 342 and designate March as Women Veterans History Month in Nevada to recognize the courage and resilience of these extraordinary individuals who have given so much to our state and our nation. Thank you for your time and your consideration. Thank you.
And thank you. It's always good to see you, Mr. Wagner. Thank you for joining us today. Anybody else wishing to testify in support of Assembly Bill 342? Seeing none, BPS, can we go to the phone lines for support, Assembly Bill 342?
If you would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 342, please press *9 now.
Good afternoon. My name is Lynn Chapman, L-Y-N-N-C-H-A-P-M-A-N, and I'm a 50-year member of the American Legion Auxiliary. And I've known many World War I, II, and on, both men and women veterans. I found interesting information that you may not know about women in the U.S. military. According to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, more than 2 million women veterans live in the U.S. today. In the year 2000, women veterans were just 4% of the veteran population, but by 2040, they are projected to make up 18% of all veterans, making them the fastest growing group of veterans. Navy Captain Rosemary Mariner was one of the first 8 women selected to fly military aircraft in 1973, and a year later became the Navy's first female jet pilot. At her gravesite service in February 2019, 9 female pilots from Naval Air Station Oceana in Virginia performed the Missing Woman formation for their predecessor, the first all-female crew to do so. Dr. Kamen Samuel was the U.S. Navy's first black female helicopter pilot. TV star B.R. was a truck driver in the Marine Corps during World War II. And there's many, many more stories about courageous women that I couldn't present here today, but honoring women who worked hard to achieve their goals in helping to protect and serve their country is a goal that our state can and should achieve by passing AB 342. Please pass AB 342. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. Next caller in support of Assembly Bill 342.
If you recently just joined us, we are currently in support of AB 342. If you would like to testify in support, please press star 9 now. Chair, you have no more callers in support at this time.
Thank you. Is there anybody wishing to testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 342? Carson City or Las Vegas? Seeing none, BPS, have we had anybody recently join us over the phone in opposition to Assembly Bill 342?
If you would like to testify in opposition of AB 342, please press star 9 now. Chair, you have no callers in opposition at this time.
Thank you. And lastly, we'll move to those wishing to testify in the neutral position for Assembly Bill 342, Carson City or Las Vegas. Seeing none, BPS, anybody wishing to join us over the phone in the neutral position for Assembly Bill 342?
If you would like to testify neutral on AB 342, please press star 9 now.
CYRUS, HOJJATY. Ditto the previous callers. I'd like to thank everybody for their service and thank you for the efforts of the state senator and her contributions. Thank you.
I think because he said ditto to the previous caller, I think he was in support of Assembly Bill 342, so we'll let the record reflect that that testimony was in fact in support of Assembly Bill 342. Next, we'll move to those wishing to testify in the neutral position to Assembly Bill 342. BPS, do we have anybody wishing to join us over the phone?
Chair, you have no more callers neutral at this time.
Thank you. Senator Spearman, any closing remarks? Thank you again for the presentation and for all who have served our country. With that, we'll go ahead and close out our hearing on Assembly Bill 342. Last on the agenda is those wishing to join us for public comment, Carson City or Las Vegas. Seeing none, BPS, do we have anybody wishing to join us for public comment over the phone?
If you would like to participate in public comment, please press star 9. Chair, you have no callers wishing to participate at this time.
Thank you. Members, just wanted to give you a lay of the land for the week. We anticipate Wednesday being equally, if not longer. And then we will also, unfortunately, have to be meeting on Friday. I try to prevent doing that. However, with the amount of bills that have been sent over to us from the Assembly, the only way we can realistically hear the majority of those bills would be by meeting Friday. So I anticipate Friday being not as long as today, but we'll be here for at least an hour and a half, just so you can plan accordingly with your families and if you have any flights you have to catch or anything like that. With that, members, we will see you all on Wednesday and Friday. Understood. This meeting is adjourned.